first of all, I didn't want to go see a psychologist because I would say, hey, I'm sick, I'm not crazy. Well, you know, in hindsight, maybe I was crazy too, I don't know. But anyway, he suggested that when he found out about my relationship with my father, he suggested that I go home and do what is called an empty chair procedure. And what that means is you place a chair in front of your chair and you pretend your father is sitting there, and you pretend you're 5 years old, and you say, why did you bring me into this world if you didn't love me? And why don't you love me? What's wrong with me? What have I done wrong? Why am I treated this way? And so in essence, my father never did play with me. He never said he loved me, never put his arm around me. He treated me like kind of like a piece of furniture that, you know, I was present, but I wasn't of any value to him. So in essence, you know, we just had a bad relationship, and I hated him. My strong suspicion is that I was an unwanted child. You know, I think I was a real surprise to the whole family. And because my brothers were basically like 15 years older than I was. So I think my parents were just kind of thinking, well, we're finished raising a family, and then at an inopportune time, I was born in 1939, right before the war, Second World War. So I mean, this was a very difficult period, I think, for a lot of people. And having a baby at that time, maybe it wasn't the smartest thing to do. I mean, so it might have been an accidental thing. I went home that day after seeing the psychologist, and I did the empty chair procedure. And, you know, I asked my father all these questions. And then I was to get up and sit in the chair and answer the questions. Well, this didn't make a bit of sense to me, but I did it. When I sat down in the chair, I don't know why, but I realized that he had loved me to the best of his ability. You know, so everything he did was to provide food, clothing, and shelter. It was just the warm, lovey-dovey stuff that he didn't have. He wasn't intending to harm me. He just didn't know any better. So he gets an A+ in terms of trying to be a good father, but an F- in terms of actually doing it. So, you know, it's taken me a long time, but I've forgiven my father. I realized that I too am not a perfect father. So there aren't many perfect fathers around, as I understand it. So, you know, not surprising that we have deficiencies as fathers.